What's up guys, this is Myth and we're back with another 7 night video. As I mentioned from my previous video, this one is going to be one of the most important PvE content in the game, which is Raid. So in this video, we're going to go about the background of the dragon. So what skills does he have? And then we're gonna go have a look at the item jobs, so both from crafting and the reward chests. And most importantly, I want to go through the masteries I'm using and, in my opinion, what's the most optimal team setup for Raid. So you may ask, what's so important about Raid? I mean, towards the end game, I think most of the players will have all the meta units, if not most of the units in the game. So especially in Arena and Guild War, winning and losing is down to mostly itemization. So the 4 slots here, 2 weapons and 2 armor, they're very important. I think, in my opinion, more important than the accessory and jewels for each hero, because it provides the most stats. And if you look at the codex for items, you go to special items, raid items, say for example a raid swords. Look at the stats. Maximum stats, crit rate, lethal attack 32%, speed attack 27%. You compare that with a 7 night item, 30% for both crit and lethal attack and 25% for speed attack. So that's a 2% difference, which is huge in PvP as well as PvE, of course. And also, Netmarble announced today that there's going to be an update tomorrow, and after the update, they will introduce the full load item. But the good news is, raid item, if you get the max stats, they're still, I think, 1% better than the full load item. So it's more reason for you to spam raid whenever you can and improve your team that way. So firstly, I want to give a background about the raid boss, the dragon. So with the dragon, it spawns randomly during an adventure, and it lasts for 3 hours. And you always have 3 free entries to each dragon. And after that, I think it's 10 rubies per entry, but it's not necessary. And you can find all your friends' dragon in this list here. And whenever you enter a new guild, your guildies, every one of them, their dragon will appear here as well. So it's very important for you, if you have the ability, try to join a higher level guild, so you will have higher level dragons, which will grant you better items to make you progress throughout the game faster. And with the chest rewards, so there are 4 different types of reward chests. There are the number 1 damage dealer chest, number 2, number 3, and the participation chest. So basically, the rewards, these are here. Apart from the items, they drop crafting materials, which is horns and scales. If you go to the craft page, there are 3 options. There are 30, 100, and 500. In my opinion, I think 100 is the best way for crafting. If you look at their max stats here, from 30 to 500, they all have a chance to get the max stat item. So for example, a weapon, 240 is a max stat. So 240 here for 500, 240 here for 100, and 240 here for 30. So this really not efficient if you save 500 horns or scales at once and craft the 500 one, because in my experience, if you craft the 100 one, there's more than a 1 in 5 chance for you to get a 6-star item. And also you get a folders, which is a plus. So yeah, in my opinion, always craft the 100 scales and horns to test your luck. So now we go into the masteries. This is the mastery I'm using. So with level 10 to level 40, everything is pretty much on the offensive side, except level 20. that mastery increases allies' counter rate by 10%. So this one is very similar to level 31, which increases allies' speed attack by 10%. So counter rate and speed attack is very important in raid and castle rush because it prolongs your turns, which means your skill cooldowns come more often, so you can use your skill more often because the animation increases the turn, so your skill cooldown becomes available more often, and that means you can heal more often, and also your backline can use their damage skills more often to give you more damage. And also is level 45 to level 75. Basically, level 45, this is a PvP mastery, so you don't have to worry about this because it doesn't take any effect in PvE contents. And level 50, also with the dragon, they are set at 0 block rate by default, so with level 50 there's really no reason to use this mastery because you can't really decrease their block rate further down 0, and so always use the offensive mastery for level 50, otherwise it's a waste. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the mastery. Now we get down to the team building. So I'll just let you guys see my team. So my team 1 is pretty much the most standard raid team. So basically, if you're starting out or if you are towards the mid game, there's no really point of putting resources into building the second team because you want to spend your resource on something else like arena team, because otherwise the game just gets really boring if all you focus is on raid. But make sure you have a good team 1 because they will do most of your damage. With first team, there are a few key components, so you always want to use the defensive mastery with 1 at back, because once you max it to level 40, the backline unit grants an extra 100% attack, so that's pretty huge. And right now on global server, the best backline damage dealer is Shang and Jupi, which I'm using in my first team and my second team. I'm gonna go into details to why are they the best in another video when I go through every champion in a game. So right now, just remember it's either Shang or Jupi. And with your frontline units, basically you want someone that can neglect the dragon's crowd control, which is his stun. So the best heroes right now with anti-stun passive is Karen and Seek. So if you go to Seek, look at the passive, allies become immune to stun for 6 turns. Same as Karen. If you go to his passive, 6 turns immune to stun. So they are very important in a raid team. If you don't have Seek or Karen, since you're just starting out, if you're lucky enough to get a spike with your random 7 Knight, use him. If not, try to pick up a Lucy. So basically, Lucy is good because she herself is immune to debuffs, and she's got this skill here, removes all allies debuffs. So she's another alternative. Yeah, so that's anti-crowd control. After that, you want to have someone that reduces the dragon's damage. So I need to talk about a dragon first. So basically, with a dragon, his HP and attack scales of his level. So a level 99 dragon compared to a level 10 dragon, there's a huge difference. And he has 2 skills. So the first one is 5-man AoE, plus it adds a burn damage to all your units. And the second one is also a 5-man AoE, but this one, it has a chance to stun your units. And all the damage dragon deals are magic damage. So here you want someone with a passive that like Velika and Espada. So show you Velika's passive here. It reduces magic damage received for all allies by 50%. it's same with Espada. Reduce magic damage received for all allies by 50%. So you need one spot to save for these two heroes to make your lineup last longer. And the third spot, you want someone that can increase your damage, or you want a healer. And Lina is perfect for this spot because her passive is useless in raid, because I forgot to mention that raid boss is immune to debuffs and crowd control. That means your stuns, electrifies, paralyze, any crowd control is useless against the dragon. And also he is immune to all debuffs. That means, example like Ace, his passive decrease opponent's defense by 50%. That would not work on dragon, so don't bring Ace or Alice because their passive won't work. So with Lina, her passive doesn't work, but she's got a skill here which increases all ally damage by 50%, and she's got an AoE heal, which is really important in dragon to make your team survive longer. And the last frontline spot here is for Elaine, because right now, as I mentioned, the best two backline damage dealer is Shang and Drupi, and both of them are physical damage dealers. So with Elaine's passive, which increases physical attack of all allies by 60%, and she is the only hero right now in the game that increases physical attack up to 60%. So she is very important in dragon right now, but once in the future, like in Korean server, when Drupi and Shang gets their awakened form, they have a self physical buff up to 80%. So at that time, you wouldn't be using Elaine anymore. But right now, she is still a very good unit, or a compulsory unit in your raid first team. So, and also want to mention something. I'll give you an example like Lina and Dylan's. So they both have increased damage skill. Dylan's is with his passive and Lina is with her active, but they wouldn't stack. So anything in this game that has the same wording wouldn't stack. But Lina's active and Elaine's passive will stack, because the wording with Elaine's passive is that it increases physical damage, but Lina's active, the wording is that it increases all damage, so they do stack. And yeah, so that's pretty much the first team. So I understand if you're just starting out, you might not have all these units. Just use whatever you can for the moment, but this is just something for you to work for in the future to give you an idea. And with the second team, I suggest not to focus on it too much. Just put whatever you have, what's left over, your best hero, into the second team to do as much damage as you can. But I mean, once you have enough resources to put into another team, which is what I'm trying to do right now, the best way is to pretty much copy the setup of the first team. So second team, the backline, you want either Shang or Drupi, and anti-stun, Karen or Sig, Bellica or Espada to make your team survive longer, and you want Dylan's to replace Lina. And the last spot, you can put a healer like Lucy, which also has a passive that increases all allies block rate, or you can have someone like Soy that makes your team ignore AoE damage for 3 turns, which is pretty much both dragon skill. And also a very popular team for second team right now is a full immunity burst team. So you can have someone like Daisy, Feng Yan, or anything with the immunity, Yuxing, just put it there because they won't die for at least 2 turns, so they can dish out as much damage as they can. So yeah, so that's pretty much the setup for you guys. And I understand raid can be boring a lot of times, but just try to auto if you don't have time. Just watch a movie or read a book or do your homework, and just auto as much raid as you can, because it really helps you progress throughout the game. So that's pretty much the guide I'm gonna do today, and I have saved up some raid chests that I'm going to open right now. I might not be able to open all of them, so if my item is maxed, I'll just open the rest chest in the next video. So let's see how lucky I can get. Okay, scales, that's good. It's 5-star armor, so it's food. 12 scales, 26% crate. It's pretty good if you're starting out, but for me, it's just a folder. Folder. 10 scales. 6. Okay, 5-star sword, 14 horns. Again, 26 block rate. To me, really doesn't have any use. What I'm really looking for is 27% speed, so that's another folder. Scale. Okay. Lethal attack 26% again. It's no use to me. Speed attack 24%. Okay, that's good. Okay, a lot of folders. 20 scales, wow. 27% lethal. It's folder. Okay. Come on. 29% legal. So it's also folder. Alright, so that's the max amount item. So the other raid chest I'm just gonna save for another video. And also before I leave, I forgot to mention about the item setup for the team. So basically, with Shang, you want to go double lethal attack and double counter, because her passive already greatly increased her critical rate. And with Jupi, you want to go double crit and double counter. And with all your frontline units, make sure everyone's on double speed, and just give them armor wise HP, double HP or 1 HP, 1 block rate. And with the drills, don't worry about your frontline too much, because you want to save the best drills for your arena team. But with the backline, just try give them standard drills, so crit damage, crit rate, and damage. Or with Shane, you probably don't need crit rate and give her more lethal attack instead, so it's up to you. And that will conclude today's video. So, and also letting you guys know, I'm very close to the first 100 subscriber, so very soon I'm going to do a $20 giveaway once I reach the 100 subscriber. So please stay tuned and like and share the video if you enjoy my content, or subscribe for more future contents, and I'll see you guys in the next video.